Yeah, who is your other name there? I know you said you had 2 guys.
The other name is basically like a Carter Bryant, but like a little bit older. It's Rasheer Fleming. They're not at all the same player, but um, Rasheer is about 6'10", 235, 7.5 or 7'5", I think was the wingspan. But he's a really, really, really fluid mover. Amongst the best in the whole class for power forwards at agility testing, shuttle time, like really moves laterally really, really well. And he wears 13. Like the way he moves laterally and the ease of his body movements from side to side do give off a little bit of Bam. And in that
Hmm,
sense, not he's nowhere near Bam's defensive instincts or any of that, but just maybe it was the 13, maybe it was the way he was, but it looked a lot similar.
hmm.
He's very switchable. The good thing, he's 21, so he's a little bit older, but not not he's not a 23-year-old at 14, which is a little bit of a worry. But he shot 39% on like catch and shoot threes, had an insane average, like 17 and 10 with 2 blocks, 2 steals, 2 assists, like less than 2 turnovers. Like he was literally St. Joseph's offense and their defense for the majority of the year. And he was really, really like he's a great play finisher. His jumper is NBA ready. His frame is NBA, like 6'10", 235 is an NBA ready frame if I've ever seen one. Like,
Mm.
and when you see him, his body composition doesn't like he's strong. He legitimately was switching again just about every screen over there. They used him mostly as a 4, but he played some 5, so maybe that fits with Wemby um, in terms of what the Spurs want to do, and he can provide the spacing that Aaron Fox would need right away. Energy guy, literally every 50-50 with him is a 70-30 in his favor. Like so many offensive rebounds, doing everything. Really good screener as well. And just, I do think that's kind of where I would lean is probably Rasheer Fleming. He does have some weaknesses in terms of like he's not the best at putting the ball on the floor and self creation. But again, we're you're picking at 14 here. These guys. Cooper Flag has weaknesses, like everybody does. So it's just how much can you minimize those? And with all the ball handlers, I do think there's a possibility that he could work really, really well with you guys.
Hmm.
I don't know. Have you guys heard of him?
No, yeah, we've watched him. Well, we've kind of heard him in the comments, and I definitely
Mm-hmm.
knew he was like a modern 4 who could shoot off the ball. But a lot of stuff that you just touched on there, I wasn't necessarily familiar with. But again, we touched on Carter Bryant, Trey Johnson, Kasparis Yakachonis. There's some
Yeah.
other guys I'm forgetting, but we didn't do a prospect breakdown on Rasheer specifically. So you definitely named some things there. But there was something interesting that you mentioned there. I think you said you would lean Rasheer. Was that like in comparison to Carter Bryant?
I think he's better right now. I think
Hmm.
he is better right now. I think he's more polished. Um, the volume at which he shot threes in college was very, very high. I don't have the numbers in front of me, but I do know he took over 163 pointers, I think, this year
Hmm.
in like 30 games. So he was a high volume 3-point shooter for them, pick and pop, spot up. Basically, as long as it wasn't off the dribble, he was letting it fly, and it looks good. Like the jumper looks good. So if you are trying to build a win now team, I do think he's a safer pick because we've seen his role a little bit more, and you kind of just know what you're getting. Um, but I do think Carter has a little bit more upside. 2 years younger. I think Carter is a better defender than Fleming. That's not to say Fleming is bad. I just think he has some issues, and particularly like closing out and keeping his feet. Some like minor tweaks and stuff, but he got away with it because his agility was so good. But I mean, if his problem is he closes out too hard and he funnels them to Vic, like that's a good problem to have, I guess.
Hmm.
I'd rather that than him just not be able to keep anybody in front of him. But on ball, he's actually really stout defensively.
Yeah. So if you're Brian Wright, let me. Can I guess here, Lou? I'm gonna guess your opinion. If
Hmm.
you're Brian Wright, are you taking Carter Bryant over Rasheer Fleming
um,
at 14?
am I keeping the pick? Like, am I keeping the guy?
Under the scenario, because probably, if I'm being honest, if I had to guess, we'll probably trade this because that's just what we've been doing. But I mean, maybe
Okay.
we'll keep it just because of the
Um,
draft. But if we're keeping it, they're both on the board. You're Brian Wright. Who are you going with?
Okay. If I'm Brian Wright, that means I probably took Dylan Harper at 2.
Mm-hmm.
I'm taking Fleming. I'm
Wow.
taking Fleming. The reason I'm taking Fleming is I took the upside swing at 2 in terms of like wonky fit. If I'm getting Harper, who's not the best shooter, and I'm pairing him with Fox and Castle, I want Fleming, who I know, like, who all the signs point to the shooting is going to translate at the next level. So I would rather take that because he is a more high volume shooter, and that's just kind of where I'd lean. But I don't think you can go, like, I wouldn't be upset if either one of them was a pick.
You said he's more NBA ready. Do you think he's ready to start next to Victor immediately at that pick?
Who'd you guys start there? You said Sohan. I mean, did you guys start Harrison Barnes last year?
We did,
At
yeah.
2. Both of those guys, basically.
Okay. Both you played them both together. Can he start? Yes, I think he can start. I don't know how many minutes you'd probably be giving him right off the bat, but I do think he could find his way into starter minutes without an issue. He's 21, so it's not like he's new to this, or like, like he's still figuring things out. Like, yeah, he is. Everybody is, but he's more sure of himself. The way he plays lends itself more to being an immediate impact player. If you were taking Carter Bryant, I don't think Carter Bryant should be starting for you next year. I think he should be a pure off the bench piece with upside and like room to grow down the line. But
Gotcha.
I think Fleming has starter upside for next year.